Hey there and welcome to this week's vlog. Now this week is a continuation of the last 2 weeks vlog that I've done. If you haven't watched them, go to the blog and watch them now. So this week we're going to talk about the selling steps for IPS, which means in-person sales. So if you're not doing IPS, you've always wondered how to do it, this week's vlog, I'm going to share with you 3 steps of getting started. So the last 2 weeks I mentioned of how you can make a consistent income, at least 4 figures. Then the second week was how to package and sell and 3 ideas that you can use to sell and package your services. But if you do all that in an online gallery for your clients, that's where you're losing most of your sales. Now, a lot of photographers swear by IPS sessions. And as I said, that stands for in-person sessions, so sales sessions. So when a client comes in after their session and you show them their images and then you sell to them. So the 3 steps I'm going to share with you are practical steps that you need to know when deciding to do in-person sessions as well. So step number 1 is you must prepare your client from day number 1. So from the first day they call you, they book you in, they come in. Throughout that whole process, you got to start planting that sales seed. You got to start selling to them lightly, so you don't have to end up selling so hard to them within an hour inside your in-person sales session. So this is really, really important. So you want to mention of what you have to offer, why it's so valuable what you have to offer them, your products, how to use your products, and everything else from day 1. And this can be done in your pre-session information brochure. It could be, a brochure you sent with them home after your session so they can sit and read about all your products and how they're used, testimonials from your previous clients and things like that. But you must make it compulsory when doing in-person sales. So you must let them know that when they book you in, it is compulsory they come, or else they won't get their images. So by that I mean they have to come to your viewing sessions where you're going to conduct an in-person sales session. They don't have to know it's called that. You can call it whatever you want. I personally call it a viewing session where I don't do online galleries. They have to come in, they view their images, and then they choose and purchase. Step number 2 is planting the sales seed. Now this is my favorite step because I do this from day 1. So when a client contacts me and I send them the sale information, my session information I should say, I also have my images in there of my products. I start selling to them from day 1 as well. So also you want to add information of the products you have. So don't just show them, tell them why it's important to have wall art on their walls at home, or why it's important to have albums laying around in the house. You got to add value to what you're selling, because when people know the value in something, they are connected with an emotion to whatever you're having to say, then that sparks engagement, and then when they come in, they know that if they purchase this product, that's how it's going to make them feel. Okay, so step number 3 is to get them involved so they start thinking, and then they start deciding from the day they come into their session. So for instance, when my client comes in, I hand them over my albums. As they're sitting there, everything is available for them to touch and feel and look through. So if they are too shy to grab anything, I will actually physically hand them. I will take something off my wall and show them. And then I also start selling while I'm shooting. So I tell them that, wow, I've just taken this image. This would look good in a frame print, or this would look good, if you have it laid out in an album. I am starting to sell to them based on what I'm doing, but I'm not too salesy. I'm not forcing them into buying anything. I'm just showing them the value and the benefit if they choose to purchase that particular product. Also, the way I get them involved is I send them home with a questionnaire. I ask them, based on what they've seen, based on the setups that I've done, based on everything, what, I ask them specific questions I want to know. So it helps me when they come in with that questionnaire, what I should really focus on selling them and what I should lean more towards of. And, that questionnaire not only helps me, it actually helps them decide what they are leaning more towards purchasing when they come in into their sales session. Also, another thing you want to ask them is to take pictures of their space. So when you ask them to actually take pictures and email them to you or bring them to the session, they are actually thinking of, okay, what space, what wall would I put an image on, or where would I lay an album, and things like that. So you're actually getting them involved, and that helps trigger them to think of how they can use a product, not just grab your digitals where they're just going to pop it into the drawer. So you're actually getting them to physically do something before their session, and that helps them to start thinking of what they're going to actually purchase. I also ask them to think of a budget. See, a lot of people come in and say, oh, that's not my budget, or I don't have the budget. I actually ask them to think of a budget based on the product list that I've sent home with them. So to think of things like, how much can they spend and what's the top amount they can spend and the least amount. So I know what I'm working with in between. I also like them to get them to list 3 things they love the most when they were inside my studio, what products they love the most. I get them to list it all down to bring into their session as well. So that way I know what I'm really aiming for. And then you'll find in your IPS sessions, they will nail it down to 1 or 2 products the most. Then you can put your focus on that and showing them the benefits, the value, and what can they can use that product that you're hoping to sell them as well. Okay, so for this week's vlog, I want you to go to the link below and register for my next masterclass on how to make 4 figures the least from every single sale and session inside your business. So if you go to the link below, register, choose a day and time that suits you, and join me there, because I go into depth of exactly what I do in my own photography business that makes me 4 figures and over from every single sale. Now, if you want to know, it's free to join and I go into more depth. So go there and register, and I'll see you guys next week.